was hoping I didn't mess anything up. I don't think I did. I think that'll be doable. Oh, we're gonna give it a couple minutes before we start the lesson. Um, just to kind of get people in here, in chat popping. Um, yeah, today was it's gonna be a little weird today because I was going to start my new RPG of the month. For those guys waiting for Metroid Dread, I think I'm gonna do it off stream. Um, I haven't played it since the last time I streamed it. I've been kind of just been going and going. I haven't really had time to just you know really just play a game and like enjoy it. I want to enjoy Dread. I don't want to feel pressured with streaming it and like performing well or like struggling with the controls and stuff. So I think I'm gonna do Dread on my own. We'll see. I might stream like the ending of it and stuff whenever I get there. But we'll see. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is according to that because like it's November. This month is kind of a bit different when it comes to streaming. Family time. Thanksgiving is in a couple weeks, and I probably won't be streaming that whole week. Maybe I'll try to fit some things here and there. Especially when Endwalker comes out. Endwalker's kind of like been a thing that's kind of like like I had my plans right, and then Endwalker came in. It's like, well, shit. Now like all my plans are jumbled. So I haven't really had time to like do much. Like of the other stuff I want to do, but I do plan on starting the new RPG for the month, and it is gonna be Earthbound. I'm pretty excited for it. Earthbound's a very legendary game. Um, Only beaten it maybe once. I don't even think I beat it. I didn't know how to beat Gygas when I was a kid. I didn't understand. I was like, what do I have to do? And I kept hitting him and he kept killing me. So like I think I gave up after that one point. I didn't know until like years later watching like a speed run what you're supposed to do or whatever, right? So it was kind of like annoying, but whatever, right? Like that game's really good. So I don't know when I'm gonna start it. It's either today or tomorrow. Just depends. I'm not gonna be playing any rank today. Unfortunately, I'm on Wi-Fi, so I don't want to. I think my internet cord died. Like, so I'm pretty much streaming this off my laptop, streaming this to Wi-Fi, and I don't want to give anybody a headache, and I don't want to give myself a headache playing ranked. Um, on Wi-Fi, so it's just not fun. So I decided to make this into a training stream. Something kind of as a I like doing these kind of lessons for players coming into the fighting game community. For players that are like trying to pick up Street Fighter. Maybe not just for five because five's kind of like already on its way out. Even though Luke is coming out this month, but it's for Street Fighter 6 or whatever future installments there is to the series. I want to make sure that I am helping that next generation come in and answering questions when I can. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about block string and movement. Um, there's going to be some similarities to this with meaties. I know we talked about meaties in the past, and understanding what's the importance of doing that. But I believe like something we really haven't touched on in this channel is like how to use your movement in Street Fighter and how to apply that to your characters. I think one of the things that's super important um, to engage against your opponent is making them uncomfortable or putting them in a position where you're in control, right? A lot of this stems from the meaty situation, but going into meaties, you have to understand there is a lesson prior to that, and that is block strings, or that is, we're going to be talking a lot about frame data. We're going to be talking a lot about plus on block and plus on hit, and what kind of routes you want to take with your character, and how to apply that against you know your opponent defending against that, right? There will be some lessons about this, how to defend it instead of just applying it, how to defend against it. I'll try to see what the training mode will let me do, but yeah, if you guys have questions, I'm gonna try not to answer them until the end of the lesson. Um, this will probably be going on YouTube later. So if you guys missed this lesson, don't worry. I will post this. I promise I'll post this today. I've been really slacking on YouTube, but I don't know. I've just been busy. I've just been busy, but um, let's go ahead. Holy sound levels are good. If not, I'll change some things. Uh, I'll try not to be as serious as I usually am when it comes to like doing these things like on YouTube. This is more of like, yeah, I'm just chilling out and teaching you guys some stuff. So, what I'm gonna teach you guys is pretty much useful with every character. I'm gonna start off with Chun, but I might switch around characters, depending on what I want to pick. Depending on what I want to talk about. Um, let's. I don't think I got that one. Whatever. We're going into training. Let's do some training. Uh, my favorite color. Oh, okay. I probably should have made Bison a DP character, but whatever. I'll switch the characters in a bit when we talk about DPs and stuff like that. Um, all right, Bison. We don't need you jumping around. What we need you to do is yes, guard all, and okay. So the first part, the first thing you want to know when dealing with movement and block strings is spacing, right? Spacing is really key. You try to understand what Bison's furthest reaching move, and you try to stay outside that range, right? Bison doesn't have a slide, so primarily when you're doing movement, you want to make sure that you're blocking low. You never know when's gonna come out. It is a very big gamble on Bison to go for it, but it is a low. So if you're seeing a lot of this, sweep might be really useful for you. Even like the further you are, it might be good because the sweep, the further you're away, the less punishable it is because the less frames that need to be recovered. Okay, if you block sweep from here, you're gonna be negative, a bunch. I want to say negative 12, I think, is the button, but yeah. Same thing goes for Chun, right? This is negative 12, but it depends on what he can do. Bison has to use standing heavy punch to punish this. But if I'm really close and he does something, he blocks it, he can punish it with a bigger button, right? Something more comfortable, something closer. He can actually get combos, right? I mean, he can get combos with bar, but it's a little bit like very selective. In this one, he doesn't really have to be too selective, right? He can do stand heavy kick, he can do stand middle punch, you know, he can still do stand heavy punch. So there's many things that change, and distance matters a lot when it comes to that. Okay, so when we're talking about movement, we are utilizing the ranges of your characters to to try to create an action, right? I want Bison to do something. I want him to press buttons. I want him to whiff something. This is where whiff punishing happens, right? And so the closer I am, now the thing about Bison is that since his normals are pretty stubby, there's two buttons that you're gonna be seeing a lot out of Bison when it comes to poking or like, you know, just something in range or something that's good for him in range is gonna be stab middle kick, crouch and middle kick, and this is for Bison, right? I can show that real quick. Actually, it's over here. We're not gonna record anything, but you got stand middle kick and you got crouching middle kick, right? And these are the things that he's gonna be poking you with, so that he can get some hits. Now, Vice is a very slow character, so he's not gonna be doing this aggressively as much because he's very slow. Um, so he's going to kind of like invite you in, gonna invite the character to come in. And so when it comes to Chun, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to Chun. When it comes to Chun, I have to use my movement and my spacing to try to bait that and deliver an attack, right? Use the outrange, use the range of your character to apply some damage. This is like some quick, poking counter hit damage that you can get for your character, for, just in general, how to, um, you know, get some easy hits and win the neutral. This is basically neutral, right? Spacing, neutral, all that stuff. Now, when I do, let's just take off guard. Right? When I do land a hit, you can tell that your opponent is further away, right? I can't just do this over and over. So landing hits applies actual damage, right? I did 80 damage. But there is a psychological part to this. There's a mental damage to this that I'm always thinking about in a match. Because I hit my opponent, he's instantly already losing health. He's instantly already behind in the health. Right? Now, early on in the match, it might not be so triggering. It might not do anything to him for his psyche. He still might be calm. He still might be, relaxed and all whatnot. So he might not be trying to like do anything really quick, but he's got to be thinking, all right, this isn't working. I can't beat this range. I need something to close the gap, right? And so, a lot of times what's gonna happen, and I'm actually gonna do this. This will be really good. So I'm gonna record guard recovery, and I'll do it 3 seconds. All right. I'm gonna put that to 1 because that's a little too long. I missed it. Okay, reversal. Right. We're just gonna pick whatever scissor kick. Okay. So if I do this, I have to expect an answer right back. What up, sir? I have to expect something's gonna happen, and usually for far reaching normal like this, when I did this, I'm negative. I have to respect that. I can't do anything else. If I try to like jump, I could jump it from there. That's a good way to bait it. But if I try to like continue on, so if I do this and this, I'm gonna get hit, right? If I do something like quicker, that's less on block, I can stuff that because there's some startup to it, right? But if I do something like negative and I try to do something like, the thing about this move is that it's so like it has so much startup to it that you can kind of interrupt, right? I'm gonna do it with EX for him in a little bit. We'll do EX. But for right now, if I'm playing at the long range, I have to expect that. So a lot of times when I have that, right? Let's say I do deliver a hit, or I hit him, I know that I can get him to react in a different way. I know that I can bait him, I can goad him into doing an attack because he needs to close it, right? He wants to move forward. So understanding your opponent's movement also helps bait things and allows you to create some opportunities to attack your opponent. So just being able to understand, like, I know that when he blocks, he has charge. I know that if he's waiting to close the gap on me, I can expect an answer from him. I can expect uh, uh, a different point of attack or a way to close the gap so that he's not losing. Like, like he might be like, right here -3, so it's like whatever to him. He could get punish with crouching light kick, but he's now closer to me. So now he's forced his way in. So now I have to be careful in this sense. I gotta make sure that I'm keeping up with him and able to push him away. And we're gonna talk about pushing him away in 1 second. But right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch it up and actually make him do EX. Excuse me. It's not reversal. You wanted to say reversal. Uh, I'm so bad at this. There we go. Okay, EX reversal. It should be on. Okay. So you know how like we did, some attacks that could, counter his movement when it comes to using uh scissor kick to get in. If I do something again like that where I try to do middle punch, this move is pretty. You have to be really on point to stuff this. If you're a little late, you're gonna get hit because of the startup of his move, right? Obviously, if I do something like this, really negative, it's not gonna work. If I do something like this and I go for a low, it's not gonna work, right? So because EX also requires meter, but because its startup is a little faster, you have to be a little bit more aware of how quickly you need to be pressing your buttons to counter it. Okay, so a lot of times what I do is I'll do something like that, right? A really quick bait. This is something that's good for Chun. This is if I know my opponent is going to react with going for scissors right off the bat, right? They block, and then I can see if I'm too slow, I won't get it. But if I'm fast enough, I can get that crush counter. Okay. Um, Utilizing these buttons, utilizing these movements. Now, all this is from a distance, right? This is all from like applying this damage or applying this, applying block stuns from a distance. But what happens when I'm closer to my opponent? What happens if point blank? What kind of block strings do I want to do? And how do I do this to limit my opponent's movement? Okay. If I were to do something like negative, he could just come in, right? It'll be his turn. Like I could stop it with jab because the startup is really big, but not. I don't think anybody's gonna really do scissor kick from this range, and probably not gonna do it as a reversal. But what I want to be doing is I don't want to give him the chance to press the button. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this guard, and I'm actually gonna do something quite simple. Is just do a 3-frame move, right? We're gonna do a 3-frame move. Okay. Now, the thing about this move is that it doesn't have a lot of like distance. It doesn't have a lot of range, right? But if I go for like a throw, it's not gonna work, right? If I go for like, something like that, it's not gonna work because I'm not able to hit his recovery or anything like that. I'm not able to approach him very well. If I do something like this, I'm gonna get hit. If I do something like this, I'm gonna get hit because it's negative, right? Even if I try to space this out, I'm gonna get hit because it's negative. So what I want to do, the closer you are with your opponents, you always want to apply things that are positive, right? This is a positive frame block string, +3. And what that means is I'm 3 frames ahead of him. So because this is 5 frames and I'm +3, basically I have a 2-frame advantage over him. So that light kick will come out, but it won't get to the full 3 frames to where it hits. It'll just get to frame 1. Okay? And now I'm +8 because I gotta counter him. And that makes this combo. I mean, usually combos, but like, this combos. That combos now. Doesn't really do much, but, it's something that you can use. Something that you can use for distance and for spacing and all that kind of stuff. Utilizing your plus frames is super important in getting to your opponent uncomfortable. Right? There's many things that your opponent can do when they block a move. And whenever you're close, you always want to be making them block moves that are plus on block. Right, that's like the goal. Right, whenever I knock down my opponent, you know, if I do this correctly, oh, this is a meaty, but I'm doing it a little too late. All right, let me come. Oh, oh, there we go. Okay, so I finally got the the plus on. See, if I'm too late, this is supposed to be plus. If I'm see how we traded that time? I was plus, but I wasn't plus enough. So timing this is very important. Just like that. Timing is everything when it comes to these kind of situations. When it comes to meaties and movement and block strings, you always want to make sure your timing is correct. It took me like, you know, 8 tries to do this, but I finally did it. If I want something easier, I'll just do something like this. Right? That's plus too. But the thing about that move is it pushes my opponent too far. So I can't really get anything out of that. Like I can do the standing middle punch, which is okay. It's nothing, not bad, right? It's not bad. But here's the difference, and this is where it's it's very important what your position is in this game. I can make him block. I can do this, but look how far I am after that. Right? I'm not able to get a throw. We're gonna be talking about throw here in a second, but whenever I'm close enough, I can go for a throw. Right? And because your opponent has blocked this jab, he's already -2 or 2 frames behind me. I'm +2 off of that. So if I do this, I can get throw because I don't have to walk anywhere. I don't have to move. This is a really strong position for Chun. I could get a throw right off this bat. So the only thing he can really do is tech, V shift, excuse me, or jump or backdash. Right? He has to make another play. So if I know he's gonna throw, right? We're gonna be doing a block streak. Well, technically a frame trap, but it's still somewhat of a block streak. And I'll explain why in a minute. But see how this is hitting, right? The reason why it's hitting versus, and I'm gonna show you a true block streak in a second. But the reason why this is hitting is I'm +2, so that means that I'm 2 frames ahead of him. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of math. I'm 2 frames ahead of my opponent. The next move I'm gonna choose is a 5 frame move, and Bison has a 3 frame move. Right, that's his fastest move. If I'm 5 frames ahead of him, or if I'm 2 frames ahead of him and I do a 5, right, you take 2 frames away from that. Guess what? That 5 frame becomes a 3 frame, right? Technically, in the sense of like what Bison has options on, right? So the only thing that can meet up with him is a 3 frame move. However, in Street Fighter V, it's very different to most games because in this game there's a thing called a priority system. And basically what that means is the heavier the attack is, right? There's light, medium, heavy. The heavier the attack will always beat something lower of it. So my medium is hitting his light. My medium will always win. Right? If it doesn't make sense, please ask in the chat. I know, and it's a little weird, but that's just Street Fighter V, right? That's the engine they go, the mechanics they go to. But there's no, it's very hard to like trade off of those. And I believe in this game you can't trade, like light into medium can't trade. So medium will win if they're identical in frames, right? So my 5 frame, because it has 2 frames of advantage, will beat his 3 frame if it's a light. If it was somehow a medium or a heavy, we would have traded. Or if it was a heavy, he would beat me. But because mine beats lights, this is technically a block string. There's nothing really you can do except for like super or uppercuts, EX uppercuts. And we'll get into that in a bit. We'll get into that when I pick Ryu or Ken when it comes to this. But this is something that's very important because I want you guys to really think about this. When I do crouching jab, he has to make a response because he knows that he's in throw range. He knows throw could be next. The problem is he's gonna tech that, right? And we're gonna do that right now. Actually, let's do that right now. Record. See if I can get reversal. Nope. It's gonna take me a couple times. That's too late. There we go. Reversal. Okay. So let's do this again, right? Now he's teching the throw. Right? But let's try if I do the block string again. It's working. Right? That frame shot is beating his standing light kick off a block, and it's also beating his throw. The reason why it's doing that is because there's a gap. Right? We talked about it a little bit. This is now we're gonna go from block string to frame trap. This is frame trap now. Yo, what up, Pedro? Yeah, frame data is really important. So this is now a frame trap. Why is it a trap? It's basically because there is a small pocket where he can press a button. He can press a button there. He can do something there. There's no. I'm not denying him. Now I'm gonna show you. I should have done it this way. So I did it kind of in reverse order. I kind of went a little. I went a step ahead. All right. This is a true block string. Watch. I'm kind of messing it up. There we go. I'm messing it up still. So basically, I'm not supposed to hit him. I'm supposed to just make him block twice. There you go. Okay, why is this happening? When I made the computer guard and respond off of guard with a hit, it's on reversal. There's a reversal timing, right? The reversal timing, what that means is that it will do the attack, it will do the action on the first frame it can. That it can. Not that it, like, it's just gonna just input it always. It's if it can. So the game basically says, when are you out of block stuff? The first frame, you're going to do this. That's what the game is doing, right? The first frame out of block zone, he's throwing. But what I'm doing is not giving him that first frame. This is what's called a true block string. Okay, there's block strings and a true block string. If you guys want like the easiest way of understanding what this means, this basically means, can he DP through this? Yes or no? That's literally what it means. Literally, right? And I'm gonna actually do this with Bison Super in a minute. Okay, we're gonna test this in a minute. But basically, what this means is these are true block strings. Now, the crazy thing about this is if you catch opponents mashing, right? You can kind of delay your jabs because look, this is +2, right? +2 on block. And so, because I'm able to do this, I can delay my jab just a little bit and get hits out of that. If I know my opponent is trying to press something right after, so I can and get a combo off of that because I know it's a counter hit setup. Right? These are called delaying your jabs. This is delayed jab. You delay your jab just to see what your opponent's gonna do. The problem is if they're uppercutting, you're gonna hit. So you gotta sometimes make sure that you're doing your string right, that you won't get hit. But you can always get anything he's doing right now, he's getting hit by this frame trap. Right? He's gonna get hit. Now, let's make him do something to where he's invincible. Oops. Actually, I don't know if I can do super after this. Alright, I can. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try to do it. No, I was a little too late. I mean, too early. try to time it to where I'll just do it fast. There we go. There we go. That was it. Perfect. So now, anytime I do any kind of... Ooh. There we go. Huh, maybe jab is a little too fast. Okay. Whatever, we can still make this work. We can still make this work. For some reason, the computer won't do it off of jabs. I guess it's just too fast. Like the inputs... I guess maybe if I put the inputs faster, it might work. I'll try it later. I'll try it later. It's not important right now. So anyways, I can apply the same thing with middle punch. Middle punch is plus. Okay. But if I try to do something here, guess what? I get hit. I don't want to. You don't want to see him do all that. So if my block string isn't true, there is a gap where he can do an invincible move. His move is invincible. So let's say if I want to go for throw, right? I get hit because the move's invincible. So if your opponent is literally mashing super on block, which is really hard to do, but possible, you're gonna get hit unless you block it. Right? And I'll show this more off with DPs and stuff like that. But for the most part, because there's a frame in there, even though super takes 10, 12 frames to start up, it doesn't matter because the character's invincible. When you're invincible, you can't be hit, you can't be interrupted at all. Right? The game will just... I'm going to try to do something really quick for you guys, so you guys can see how invincible things are. Let me get my critical dodge up. Okay. So I'm going to try to show you guys. See that? What's up, Tati? I'm invincible. So yes, he's invincible, I'm invincible. The problem is... Oops. Anyway. The thing is that's happening here is I'm more invincible than he is. Like, I'm not more invincible. I'm invincible longer than he is. So my hits don't hit very, like, in the beginning, right? You can see that some of the spinning birds not hitting until later. Right? Until later, then it worked. Because he's invincible for that amount, I'm invincible for this amount. So let's just say he's invincible for 8 frames, I'm invincible for 10 frames. So I get to hit him for those last 2 frames, I get to hit him. Right? This is not something that usually occurs, but this is something you could do. So if I were to bait him, I mean, obviously, if you were baiting someone, just block it, right? So if I just wanted to block, I just do this, you know, and then punish them for it. That's what you usually do. But if you were just like not sure and whatever, right? You can just, you know, do your uppercut or whatever, depending on how invincible you are. Some uppercuts are not as invincible. They're only invincible in the beginning, and sometimes that's all you need to do. But that's pretty like important when it comes to understanding how, you know, using your frame traps and using your blocks and stuff like that. Now, let me actually go and let me actually pick an uppercut character. Let me pick, like, you know, Shoryuken. Because this is kind of like where my where I wanted to base this lesson plan over around with like uppercuts, right? A lot of characters have uppercuts, a lot of characters don't, right? So the method to this training or like understanding block strings and stuff like that definitely is tied to who you're fighting against. If they have ways to eat through different things. So we're gonna go down the list just to give you guys an idea of what your character can do or what they can't do. Rose has an invincible soul spiral, right? She can blow up frame traps. She can blow up block strings. Not true ones, but she can blow up. You know, basically like the non-true frame trap or block strings are called frame traps, but we don't really call them frame traps. We just call the way I call them is true block strings and block strings. That's how I do it. If it's like legit a frame trap, I'll say, yeah, this is a frame trap. Gil, I don't remember. I don't know if his EX Lariat. It doesn't have armor, so I'm gonna say yes. This one also blows up frame traps. Kind of, right? Kind of. Uppercut, uppercut. No, she doesn't have anything to blow up frame traps. She has super, right? Supers are kind of given, so we're not gonna really like. Everybody can probably just do super, right? But Benat doesn't have a way to blow up frame traps. So this is a character that frame traps are very important because they have to rely on jabs. They have to rely on normals to break up stuff or movement. Right, we're gonna talk about that in a second. Uppercuts. Uh, EX Lariat, maybe. I don't. Yeah. Well, okay, I don't know. I don't. He has an uppercut, but his uppercut's not that good. Like it can do it like on really delayed block strings, but not really. Well, what up, server? Rashid, yes, uppercut. She has armor on her Lady Peach. Is that what it's called? Think so. EX Spinning Bird, EX uppercut, EX uppercut, EX uppercut. Vega can't. Vega's another character you can bully with block strings. Um, he does have a V skill too that's invincible. So he can get out of block strings, but you can kind of like see it. You can punish it if you're really quick. If you're really like you know it's coming, you can definitely punish it. Akali has an uppercut. Guile uppercut. Colleen, similar to Vega, she has this backstep that she can use. She te- technically she can parry it, but you're never gonna see Colleen do that. Like Colleen has to have the biggest, pair of grapefruits to do it. So like you're not gonna see it. So I'm gonna put her on the category of no, but she can EX vanity step back, but that's also another thing you're not gonna really see a lot. But she can, right? Like Akuma can teleport, right? Akuma can teleport, but you're not gonna really see Akuma do teleports. Whatever. This is an interesting one. Zeku, old Zeku can uppercut. He has a DP. Young Zeku can't. Young Zeku is the one that you can bully with block strings. Has good normals, but you have to just be very careful. Okay. Cody, technically with his Visco one, he can blow up block strings. Again, not very useful, so I'm gonna put him in the no. He can't. Poison can't. Um, Seth has an uppercut. Akira has an uppercut. Dan has an uppercut. Honda has EX headbutt, so actually it does work. Um, it depends on how much charge they have, but technically they can, right? So yes, G can't. G doesn't have an uppercut, doesn't have anything invincible, doesn't have any armor. Other than I think like on B Trigger 2 or something like that. But no. G can't. Uppercut, 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 uppercut. Laura doesn't have anything, so you can bully Laura. Zangief. Zangief technically can armor, but he can armor with running bear grab, but no one's ever gonna do. Well, I can't say no one. He can armor through certain things. He has running bear grab, or Siberian Express, whatever. That you can technically armor, that you can technically get through stuff, but it's not like anything crazy. Like I'm gonna put him like yeah, but right, like he can, but like they're very noticeable. He also has V skill one, which absorbs or armors through an attack. But the closer you are, like the less likely they're gonna do it. Like I don't know. Like I'm gonna say yes, but like there's like an asterisk with Zangief. Zangief can. He's weird. He can, but he's weird. Uppercut, no. Even though Nash has an uppercut, no. This character's too slow. So this is one of those characters that he doesn't get invincibility until like I think frame 4. So as long as you're ahead of him by first, like with frames, you can beat out his stuff. So he can't break out of block strings, or frame traps. So no, he can't do it. I said no, Birdie, yes. but he needs to have bingo, or he has to be holding a button. Yes, he can though. He has an uppercut. It's weird. It's very bad, but it still works. So Birdie can. Dalsum can teleport out of block strings, but he can't teleport out of throw text. So like Dalsum kind of in the middle. Like if we're strictly just talking about block strings, yes. If you throw in there, no, not really. Fong can't. Well, okay. Fong is similar to Fong is similar to Dalsum, where like if you're just talking about attacks, they can teleport through or slide around you, right, with EX slide. Other than that, like if you're using throw, no. So it's kind of like yeah, yes or no. Barong can with EX upper, not upper, but EX corkscrew. I don't know what it is called. Maybe it's upper, maybe it's corkscrew. I don't remember. But it's basically his DP, EX DP. He has armor, so he can armor through your attacks. Urian, yes, has enough headbutt EX. Abigail, yes, has an EX run, so it can blow up your throat. Kind of like the Dawson thing. You can throw it, but if he does it on block strings, you're gonna get hit. Yes, uppercut. Yes, uppercut. Yes, uppercut. Yes, uppercut. Yes or no, whatever. Right, depending on the character you're fighting against. But let's go into uppercuts. Beyond the battlefield. Now, what I'm gonna show you guys is a very big importance of uppercut and understanding how to pretty much control your opponent's movements. Right now, we're gonna change, reuse, guard recovery. Yeah, I'm gonna show you again. This is a light Shoryuken. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna do well. Let me do it. I'm gonna see if I have heavy, but I don't think I'll have. I don't think I'll be able to do heavy. God dang it. We'll talk about viewers a little bit. But... Oh my lord, no. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna do. We'll do medium. Yeah, we'll do medium. It should still play out the way I want it. Okay, so let's talk about this. Oh, did I not set it? All right. So uppercuts have no invincibility unless they're EX. It's very important to know that. Okay. If I wanted to do like a really bad frame trap, like he has no way to. He's doing it, but the startup is too slow, and it's not invincible enough. Right. This is actually kind of like a bad one. See, this one trades. See that? So that trades. That doesn't even beat me clean. Like it just trades, which still got him what he wants, but still. What you have to know is if someone is you know ready to just DP, I can't go for throw text. The thing about this uppercut is it does beat throw. So if I go for throw, I'm not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So what you have to pay attention to is you have to understand how much meter your opponent has. If he has no meter, right? Well, let's just pretend he has no meter. He has no way to EX. This will always work. Always, 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 always work. A frame trap will always work against players that are mastering DP that don't have EX. Okay, we're gonna talk about EX in a little bit. But this is something that you can always count on, that you can always bank on. So if I notice that he did that, I get a knockdown, then we start it again, right? And we just and look at like this. This is pretty much how Street Fighter is. If they're not gonna learn to just block or not master DPs, you can always control them with proper block strings, with proper attacks. Without the sequence is to break it down for you guys. Because I don't think I did that yet. Let me just turn this off real quick. So this is +2. and this is +3. So technically, I can do another attack. So I could do something like that, and he'll be able to trade on that last one. But most of the time, what happens here is I have to understand how my opponent is responding to a lot of these attacks. So I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna wait, and see what kind of attack. Because I now know that if he was mashing DP on my second attack, on this, I got nothing else to go for, right? So let me turn this back on. If I were to do, let's just pretend that I did crimson jab because he's gonna mash out of my jab and it's just not gonna work. But if I were to do something like this into this, see that? Like he'll beat it out. Even though I'm plus, like he'll just beat it out. Okay. I think if I do it on the right frame, I'll beat him. But if I'm a little late, he'll beat me. Okay. That's actually interesting. I didn't know that, but that's interesting. That's good to know. But yeah, most of the time, I know that I can't just go for throw or something. I can't just go for like another frame trap or something, right? I have to respect knowing that DP might come out. So when I know there's nothing left, right? I already expended my frame trap. Most of the time, I kind of give it the wait and see. He's wait, then I do a crush counter. Then I do some damage. Because I now know that this person likes to match. I now know that this person likes to do things on block. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do this and then just wait for it. Because I know how aggressive players are. Once it takes time, right? You got to be playing the matchup for a while. You got to understand what your opponent is doing. But these tendencies do happen a lot in the lower ranks, right? And all the way even up to into platinum. This works. This happens a lot where players are matching that DP so that they can get a way to uppercut to beat out throw or whatever, right? Maybe they're not even trying to do it at all to throw. They just like, oh, uppercut, do it to get out of stuff. So one thing that is important, and we talked about this with Bison Super. Oh, I'm gonna try to do it like this. Alright, let's just try. Perfect. Okay, we got EX. Perfect. The reason why the other one doesn't work is because actually I don't know why the other one doesn't work. It's stupid. Reversal's weird. Okay. So now we're gonna talk about invincible uppercuts. Invincible uppercuts do not care. As long as there's a gap, it'll do it. Because I did jab, if I were to do a delay jab, I'm gonna get uppercutted. Remember when we were talking about this earlier with strings and true block strings and not true block strings? If I do a true block string, he can't do it. But if I mess that up, if I don't get the timing down, I'm gonna get uppercutted. Let's try the frame trap. Nope. Let's try throw tech. Nope. None of that's gonna work. None of that's gonna work. And this is where it comes down to when it comes to always checking your opponent's meter. I ain't gonna teach you more part, no. We'll play when Bash wakes up. This right here is something that is there is no real like game plan to this. This is kind of like what culminates from playing your opponent throughout the round and understanding what he has in meter. Like I know, like the first thing I check is okay, what character am I playing against? Ryu. Does he have a way to get out? Yes, he has uppercut. Does he need meter? Yes, he needs meter. So anytime I like want to go for like these into like like a meaty setup, I can't because he has uppercut. So this is where using your knowledge of the game and understanding how characters might be or how players might react to certain things off of blocks, right? So if I just did a jab and a wait for it, I can get a crush card. I can do, there now I will say this, okay? It depends on the move you choose. If I do something negative like this, they're not gonna uppercut, right? Like if they're actually okay at the game, like not even bad, like if they're just okay. If you're bad, then maybe, right? Like you might just uppercut whatever. But if you were to do something kind of like zero on block, or if it was negative, then there's no reason to do uppercuts. That's not something you want to bait. If you want to bait an uppercut, you first gotta instill the fear of the throw. You gotta make sure that, hey, I'm positive I'm going next. Make them have a reason to use the invincibility, right? If there's no reason, if I'm just poking them from here, this is never gonna happen. If I poke them from here, this is never gonna happen. But if I start applying pressure, then it's gonna happen. Because the reason why players do uppercuts is to break that frame trap, break that block string, whether it's positive, just so that they can get their turn back, right? I'm gonna turn this off real quick, just to understand, just to break you guys down in the simplest form. My turn, my turn, my turn, my turn, my turn, right? Not my turn. My turn's over. Their turn. Well, it's zero, right? So like, yeah, you know. But the anytime you see blue on my frame data, that means it's my turn. My turn, my turn, my turn, my turn. Like that. This is what the game's all about, is understanding turns. But once you see the red, now it's your turn. Once you see that red frame data, now it's your turn. Now you can do what you want. Now it's your opponent's. Now it's your opponent's turn. That's what I'm actually trying to refer to. Now your opponent gets a chance to say something. And usually what the response is something that's in range, right? So if I were to do something like this, they're going to pick something that's going to reach me. Most likely crouching middle kick into fireball, right? That's pretty much like the go-to. Okay. If anybody has questions, you may ask them now. I'll still be talking, but I'll answer questions if you have questions in the chat. But knowing this is why meaties are important, because you always want to be positive, to set up frame traps, to set up ways to get your opponent uneasy. But it starts off with the throw. It starts off with, because at first, when people are playing this game, they tend to be like, well, I gotta block, right? Block low for the lows, block high for the overheads, right? Block low for this, block high for this, right? That's pretty much blocking 101. That's like the first step. Okay? Block low. Block high, right? That's it. But there is no defense you can't block a throw. You can't block that. So players have to think about, okay, I don't want to get thrown, so I'm not going to let them get near me. But there are times when I'm going to be near you. How do you defend against it, right? And this is also like involving block stun, understanding what block stun is all about, understanding how long it takes, and making sure that you're able to like read it, right? We talked about block stun in the past, like I can't throw him right here, right? Okay, but I have to wait for that block stun to end to get that throw to come out. But just like what we were talking about, if I wait for that block stun to happen, guess what he can do? He can uppercut that. The thing is that jump ins give you so much plus. I'm plus 11 there, so I can just do. That's a block string. See that? It's a block string. And then he uppercuts. So he couldn't uppercut until that third attack, because I was plus. And I kept it going, right? I kept stringing along and not leaving any gaps. He can only uppercut when there's a gap. Okay. And a lot of times we leave that gap open for this purpose, So if I see him with meter, I'm gonna put a gap, and I'm gonna make sure to see if he's gonna uppercut. That's baiting. All right, that's baiting the uppercut. Now Ryu's could just wake up, wake up uppercut. So he could uppercut me right when I try to jab him, because he has that gap. This is a gap too, right? I can't do anything, and he can uppercut the moment he gets up. Right, that's wake up stuff. We won't talk about that, but basically he could uppercut there. So that's also another kind of thing that you can bait off too. That's something that's a little different, right? This is a DP off of a button, and DPing on wake up is two different things. What I like to do when I'm playing people is I like uppercutting when they do the jab, because I feel most of the time they're not trying to bait me, they're trying to go for the next move. So they want to do this, right? And that's where the uppercut lies. This is where I tell a lot of my students, I'm like, try to refrain from doing uppercut right off the bat and wait for a block string, right? Wait for this, because a lot of times people want to go for tick throws, right? So they want to go for throw, that doesn't work. So you use that to your advantage. So utilizing your movement and utilizing your block strings can get you certain points where you can get some damage off your opponent just by putting the pressure. Movement by getting in closer, and block strings using the plus on block to force things to happen. Okay. All right. So there's no questions so far. So what we're gonna talk about now is actual like defensive like block strings, or like strings that your opponent shouldn't be pressing buttons. Right. We won't do uppercuts. We'll do whatever. So we now know, and we talked about this earlier before. Okay. We now know that your opponent shouldn't press a button when I'm positive, right? If I'm positive, they shouldn't press a button. Okay. So technically, they shouldn't press a button after all these. Right? This is a block string. Okay. Now, I can't do that. Okay. Actually, I got an idea. I'm gonna try something else. We're gonna try something else. Okay, we're gonna do this. Alright. So this is something where we're using our block strings to put us in a position. Now this is gonna be very hard to do because Ryu's gonna press my crouching middle kick no matter what. So regardless, so we're just gonna pretend I did this, and it put me here, and I did this. Okay. So what happens here is I'll do this, and then I'll throw a fireball to that. Right. And so what this says, what I'm doing here is that is Ryu's furthest reaching move. It's actually sweep, and I'll do sweep. Whoops. I'll do sweep. Let's do sweep. Okay, we did sweep. Okay, that reached me there, right? That doesn't reach me there. See that? Still, using this block string to, because what we're doing is we're basically telling your opponent, okay, it's your turn. What are you gonna do? Right? Yo, what up, Mom? What's good, my man? See this? We are basically telling our opponent, what are you gonna do now that it's your turn? Now I'm giving you your turn. Your turn. What are you gonna do? I will say this: any attack, as long as he spaces out correctly, you can hit him. Anything he does, you can hit him. Anything. Right? So what that means is he cannot attack there. This is another form of frame trap. Depending on the character, right? This is Dalsum, Falk, Poison, but not. No, this doesn't work. Okay, you gotta try something else. But when your opponent can't do anything here, they have to respect that. Okay, so they respect that. Then I throw a fireball, and I'm plus 16. So what I like to do as Chun, so this is like more of a Chun thing for all you Chun players out there. Actually, no. So this is all strings. So I'm gonna do this. Whoops. Ah, that goes. You know, like I can do all these strings, and then ultimately culminates into that. I basically have freedom to do this. Now there is things you can do. Basically, what players do when they catch on to this is after this they'll jump at me, because a lot of times what happens here is I'll do this, throw a fireball, but they'll be jumping after that middle punch. So that fireball now gets beaten by a jump. And usually like that, this is just kind of learning, right? Like you're just learning what your opponent is doing. Most of the time, people don't know that, or people won't try it because they want to get out. So a lot of times, and then this gives me enough. So let's just see how this is in break data. So I did this dash. I'm -2. So technically, if I dash, he can hit me, right? Technically, this is -3. So technically, he can punish me now. Can't the first one you couldn't. This one he can punish. He can. Okay, this is -1. Right. So the furthest I am, this is fireball. Now I'm +1. Right. So the further away I am from my opponent when I throw this fireball, the more plus I am. But like you don't get that opportunity to keep going. Like you don't want to like spend time because now you're making it obvious, right? Like if I'm walking back and I throw a fireball, guess what? He's gonna see that. I don't want to walk back. So what I want to do is throw it from here because now he doesn't have the opportunity to do anything about it, right? Like he doesn't have the time to like read me or to look at my movement and choose like what to do. Now he has to respect it because I'm not moving anywhere. So what we're doing is we're kind of conditioning it, right? The first thing you do is this. If he tries to press buttons, this will hit him. So now he's like, oh shit, I can't do anything here. I gotta wait longer, right? So now that you do that, you do this, and I usually like to do forward heavy kick after this. So I'll do this on +9. I'll do forward heavy kick. The reason why is let me actually set it on. So if I do it like this, maybe not sweet, but whatever. We'll try it. See that? So there we go. See that? Because I'm positive and they want to press a button, they're getting hit now. Because I'm positive, right? If I was any closer, like let's just say if I threw fireball here, oh, I'm gonna get hit, right? Like I'm definitely gonna get hit. But the more spaced out you are, the higher chance of you being able to hit him, right? Because you're having the frame advantage. You're plus on block. So what I try to do is put myself in a position where, oops, see that? This is where it all comes down to. It's trapping your opponent. Now this only works in the corner. It's not something um you could CC them as well. Yeah, yeah. So like well it's like if my fireball's enough, then yeah. I mean if I have super, I can just whoops. It's just depending on how how plus you are on block, and I can do super, right? But again, this all like stems from like okay, what are they gonna do, right? If he decides to jump, then I have to answer this, right? Like I gotta be paid. So like there is a kind of like okay, well if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, right? I don't know if I can make him jump as a recovery. I'm gonna try, but I don't remember. Okay, okay. So if I were to do that, let's just say I did the thing I wanted to do. He's gonna hit me. Now I'm screwed because I went for that frame trap, right? So he made an adjustment. He now knows that I can't go for an attack anymore. I have to respect it. Yo, what about Don? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So now that I know that he's not, now that he's doing that, I have to anti him, right? Now I have to put the brakes on. But guess what? Now look how crazy this is. Now guess what he can do? So now that I think, oh, she's gonna jump, he dashed up because I'm waiting for the jump, right? Because of the anti, and this is all the things you have to be thinking about. You don't know, but this goes back to, okay, well, if you're gonna do that, I'll do this, right? Like, this is all learning what your opponent's gonna do. This comes back to you. Well, I'll just do this, right? Because this worked so now you have to go back to condition him. So now you have to think, okay, well, what is he gonna do, right? What do I think he's gonna do? And he can jump. I could do this, and like, let's just say he went for like whatever, right? A jump. Let's just say he jumps. So I can still block. So technically, this fierce punch is like the safest thing after that move. Now he can uppercut it, like he can go for uppercut, but it's not like he can't really like. It's like one of those things that's like really like you're really stretching. It does work though, like it can work. He could very well go for an uppercut, right? I should set these like as different ones, but see how fierce punch is it's too slow, right? Like if it's too slow. So whatever. If I was fast enough, whatever. I actually need to play more offline because there's a tournament I think this weekend in San Antonio that I want to go to. But as you guys can see, like there's a lot of like hits and there's a lot of things that you can control with your opponent just by movement and just by attacking and stuff like that. One quick thing with Chun, that's very important when it comes to movement is, and this is kind of like a bad habit that a lot of like Chun players have, but it's understandable. But a lot of Chun players like to walk too much into Fireball. This is going on YouTube, yes. This is definitely going on YouTube right after this. I will post it. So a lot of times, when I walk back and I do forward, what you can do is when you're playing a charge character, you can see the moment they press forward and you can jump. You can react to that, right? So you see that a lot of times what's really useful is like knowing that they can jump back from fireball. I use that to help me choose when I want to jump in for fireballs, right? Or catch sweep, right? And so a lot of times what you want to do, you want to mask this. You don't want to like take a step back, and you don't want to crouch back either, because you don't want to be stuck. You don't want to be stationary. You want to be kind of moving, right, ebb and flow, and you want to like be active in the neutral. But a lot of times what I do is I'll throw it from here, and I'll kind of do this low, just kind of like this sort of number, and then try to like not be in range, but also like mask it with jabs and stuff like that. So movement really helps out in the sense of when your opponent can jump in and attack. Uh, it definitely is hard. It definitely is a hard thing to do. But one thing you just want to make sure you're realizing when you're dealing with these kind of things is you always want to think about movements when you're attacking your opponent, so that you can always see how far you have to go when it comes to jump. Movement matters a lot, where you can tell what kind of move they want to do next, right? If you think you can find a charge character and you want to see their movement, you can actually see when they. Because once I move forward, I don't have any charge. I don't have a way to do fireball. I don't have a way to do spinning bird, right? So knowing that your opponent can take advantage of that, and you can see how aggressive they want to be with their jumps by knowing that you don't have any moves. So it's always important to have your anti-airs in check, just so that you know that they can't, just come in with attacks, or jumps, raw, when you don't have the ability to do EX uppercut. Okay, so don't always rely on Spinny Bird. Always make sure that you have other ways of attack. But movement matters a lot in the sense of trying to gain an advantage over your opponent to see what they can do. Right? You step in and out of range. You're making them whiff punish. You're making them try to you trying to do some moves that can't do anything. Like this is kind of funny. Actually, I want to try this. Let me try something. I wanted to see something because there was something that was really weird. Um, so the weird thing is, I'm gonna show you guys. This is very weird. Okay, so this is something that I found out, right? If I get EX uppercutted, right? Just normal EX uppercutted, I can quick rise that. I can quick rise that, and I do want someone to clip this because I do want to know why. I don't know why. I want to ask somebody. I don't know why, but if you get hit by the first one and not the second one, I can't quick rise that. I can't rise this at all. This is actually very interesting to me. See that? Like I'm mashing it. I'm mashing the quick rise. I'm mashing the back tech. I cannot get up. So I'm gonna guess like the first, and this is not just Ryu. This is also Ken, and I kind of want to know like if other characters are like this, like if it's just like one damage, because this happened to me in a match against Ken. Um, this happened to me in a match where the first part of the uppercut was just a hard knockdown, but he missed the other side and he went straight up, and I was like, okay, let me punish him, and I was ready for it, right? Because a lot of times like commentators be like, oh, he wasn't ready, and I'm like, maybe they were trying to do it right, and like I'm trying to get out, but I don't think it works. I don't think it works, but anyways, it's just weird. One of my friends said the first EX is the one that knocks down, which is I guess it's kind of weird, like that they have that property, but I guess right, whatever. um. Anyways, we're gonna top this off with watching one of the matches of mine. To kind of see this all go down. We're gonna try to do this against the Ryu. I think I played a Ryu. I want to say it was on my account. Maybe not this one. I don't remember. My win loss were not good. I played too many Balrogs. I swear to God, the other day I was getting so annoyed. I think it's gonna be on Brolylegs. Well, there's this one. I guess we can just watch it. Let's just see how it goes. I don't remember this one. It's not like this isn't like planned. This is more of like me just watching and reacting. Um, but we're gonna try to see these things come out right when it comes to uppercuts, when it comes to movement and things like that. Um, Reviews are cheap. Your jury is cheap. Stop it, G. Stop capping. No, just play. What I mean. Um, we're gonna have this on just in case. So like, this is a really good spot right here. Okay, so Ryu knows. I'm just gonna pretend like everyone's a genius. Like I'm just gonna pretend everyone's a genius. I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna just be like, oh yeah, he's lucky or whatever, or this is luck. So basically, what happened here was he sees that I'm doing movement that's going forward. So one thing that Chun can do is she can move forward, but you can still maintain the charge, right? I did down back middle punch. I'm charging. So a lot of times here, I'm using that to know where I want to go with. I want to be able to have a meter just in case he goes for like, spinning bird, or, jump, so I can spinning bird it, or to get closer and still charge to do fireball, whatever. But pay attention to this, right? He's watching me go back, and then I stop, and then he does the jump. One of the things that's really important, and this is basically movement for him, like this is for good on Ryu, is when you watch charge characters walk back, you kind of have this idea like most of the time they're gonna throw fireball. So when you see a charge character walk back, take a chance on jump. And he delivered it, strong hit. This one was crazy, man. Nice bait on that, right? And this is more like, okay, this to me. I want you guys to see this really quick. So I dashed up. I'm +1 here. I don't know I'm +1. Like, you don't really know these things until you go back and watch the replay. Like, if you really pay attention to distance and speed and like ranges of your dash and stuff like that, then you can know, oh, I'm positive, I'm negative. I felt like I was positive, but I didn't know what. I didn't know how much. But see, this is important right here. What I did here was basically a call out, right? I called it out saying he has the meter, he's winning. He doesn't want to lose momentum. He doesn't want to lose the corner. So my estimation was, oh, he's gonna uppercut. I thought 100% he's gonna uppercut. Like right here, he's gonna uppercut, and he does it. He just throws, and he throws because his defense is, well, shit. He's close to me. I better tick through, right? So this is where the reads were off, and you get punished for it. But like this is not like a big punish, but this is kind of one of those things where I'm trying to bait him early to see what he's up against. I also was like, okay, this is a super diamond, whatever, right? He's gonna do it, but he didn't. So I was like, shit, okay. Yeah, that's crush counterable. Then we go for meaties, right? Now, again, this is a choice because he didn't uppercut the first time. Because I dashed up and made the read, I was like, okay, he's gonna uppercut here, and he didn't. Now in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's not gonna uppercut. Maybe I'm gonna just press my luck. This meaty was me pressing my luck, but I'm +2 now. And he blocks it out, which is good. But he keeps going for parry, which is bad. Now I'm gonna do a different one. Now I'm gonna throw fireball and allow my dash up to be free, right? There's no punish to this dash. No punish. Right? This is a different kind of media. This is more of like a safer, well, like more of a scripted one because he got crush counter with sweep. You know when he's gonna wake up, so now you can throw a fireball to make it safe. I want to put him in the corner. That's pretty much why I did this. I want to make him put him in the corner. So I pushed him away. Now he uppercut it, which is very odd. This is very odd. I wasn't trying to like bait, but I also wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting this crush counter or this DP. This is a very weird, odd DP. One of his, like, maybe his first big mistake. And I don't punish it. Because I'm a scrub. But whatever, right? I think I tried sleeping in, I don't know. Whatever. But there we go. Okay. So the whole thing from all this, right? I meet him. He does a parry again. I crush cut him. I throw fireball. All this is to put him in the corner. Because I'm expecting him to jump. Okay? This is where I want it. Now his stun bar is high. Now the mix up is mine. I can do a mix up that I want, right? I can choose, and this is for you, Eric, that was asking about beginner chun. This is basically what you want to do. You want to learn how to do this, where you're right here and they're flipping in the air after the anti-air. Now you get a mix up, and I guess for the dash up mix up, I missed my string, and yeah, I don't think I would have stunned him. But I would have been really close. But I dropped my combo, so that was kind of sucked. So now he has everything. He doesn't really have to be this aggressive because I have V trigger on, but he actually hits me with his Tatsu, which was really good, and then he baits it. Now this is something that I'm kind of like, I knew this was gonna happen, and so I was just kind of waiting for it to happen, but he just dropped his combo. This should have been his round. What I was supposed to do here, and I think I could have I couldn't have killed him, but I should have saw this and back roundhouse it. And then he did it again, and I was like, shit, he's gonna throw me for sure. This is like a bad choice here. Like, he hadn't thrown me at all yet, and I don't know. I guess I was like thinking like, I don't have any charge for this. I don't have spinning bird. I don't have anything. So I was like, okay, why am I gonna go for like? When is he gonna go for a throw? And so I go for a throw and I get hit. But he drops his combo really bad. And I don't think I can kill him. Nope. A lot of flubs. This one was funny because it was just a lot of flubs. Go for the throw. So this is 5 frames. I kind of wanted to see if he would jump or anything. This is just kind of like a staple of mine. Like I kind of like doing this a lot. Where like if they take a throw, or basically when we take throws or we take each other's throw, we're both back at 0. And but we're kind of at a distance where normals don't really reach, like short normals. So I'm always thinking like, well, if he presses a button, I'm gonna EX. Like EX legs is 5, so 5 frames and it'll reach him. That's really good. But he blocks it for some reason. Again, the problem with his Ryu is that he was just parrying like way too much. Like I was kind of getting so mad because like why like sometimes some Ryus just have a hard on with parries, and I don't know why. Like just play the batch, right? Like you don't need parry. So this is again the same sense situation. This time I get him. Um, Basically because the way I perceive this with Ryu, the reason why I jump is because he backed off, right? Because he backed off, I in my mind was like, okay, he's gonna fucking fireball. Like I knew he was gonna fireball because they back up. Whenever they back up, they're not really inclined to DP. They're not like it's harder for them to go to DP in that situation. They can, but most of the time they're not. So the next thing they're gonna do is they need to cover that space, right? They don't want me walking up. They don't want me doing anything crazy, so they do a fireball. And because of that, because I watched him go back, I was able to do this jumping. So that choice right there, that meeting that I did, I blocked because of uppercut. He still hasn't uppercutted with EX. So like I don't know. I'm kind of like obviously this is the first game, so like you're learning. You know you don't want to make the wrong choice, so you're kind of like learning. But this is very like uncharacteristic. Like for me, I'm like, why am I not attacking him? Like I don't care if he DPs, right? Like, I just want to keep things going. But I guess I was just trying to be like, oh, I'm too smart for him. He's gonna uppercut, but he doesn't. So I was very, I felt a little weird about that. But whatever. Okay, this time he gets his parry. Now he's putting pressure. That uppercut was just me being stupid. Like I should not have uppercutted. So now I'm thinking, okay, I need to. What I was thinking here, after I got hit, was my stun bar is getting high. So if he like makes me block, I'm gonna be reversal. But if he doesn't, I think I'm gonna like kind of just wait for him. Like now I'm like kind of like in defense mode. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I don't want to do anything crazy. I don't want to attack him. I want to be pretty chill. And so he goes for sweep. And he goes for dash, and he goes dash sweep, which is so like why? Like like this is such a big. This is one of those things that's like, well, like why? What goes in your mind to do? Like I get it that he wants to go into V trigger, but like you don't need to dash into sweep to do this. You could just you could just walk up and do it. So this is so negative. So obviously jab reaction, go into a light confirm, go into B trigger, get some combos. Like this damage is like kind of like whatever. But I get cornered now. Like that mistake for him cost him. Now he's in the corner. Just a quick note, just for those. I'm sorry, my Chun family. This is negative, right? Like you can always press a button after this. Like I like doing this, but if I do a jab, I'm like you can hit me. So just because I'm in V trigger doesn't make it a plus or anything. Like it's not plus, so you can definitely press a button there. Then he gets V trigger, which is standard stuff. And I'm just kind of like waiting. I know he's gonna be aggressive somewhere. He was like that last time. Okay, so this is very important. Let me back this up. Okay, because this is something that's... Okay. So I now know that I don't get up for a while. Okay. And you have to know this so that you won't get baited. What happens here is this. He jumps way too early. Like, I know I'm not going to get up for a while. So he jumps up way too early. And I can already tell he's going to land before I'm recovered. If I were to go for spinning bird here, he would have blocked it, right? 100%. So like, there's no reason for you to go for spinning bird in this position. Like, there's no reason for this. This is basically like he mistimed his jump, but like this is like, let's just say this is a really, really, really obvious safe jump. Like that's pretty much what it is. The safe jump. So I have to block. But the thing that I was thinking of in my mind was that, oh, he's going for low. So he's gonna empty jump low. So I'm gonna wake up throw. Because if he's too early, his light kick is gonna whiff. So my throw's gonna hit him. And I was pretty much right. Like I just went for throw. I didn't have to spinning bird, I didn't do anything else, I just went for throw. Okay, just waited. I don't know how that didn't kill, that was kinda bad. And then he just double dashed. If he was just a little bit more patient, I think he would have been fine. I definitely didn't play well in this match. Um, like I did some things that were good, but I also did like some questionable stuff. So like you're always kind of like learning. Like you're always looking at your replays and be like, okay, what could I have done good and what could I have done bad? Right? Well, let's look at one that I got like bodied, and let's just see like how I could have done better, and then we'll probably we'll see how it goes. Um, let me see. Zonk. All right, since Gio's here, you know he can tell me. Since Gio's here, he can tell me what I did wrong. All right, Gio, here you go, dude. Here you go. He can tell me what it is. He's arguing to me like wrong, bad. Jury is a. This match was weird. Like honestly, I've told Gio this in the past. I don't really like this matchup. Like I know it's in Chun's favor, but it's like it's just so weird. Because like okay, so let me talk about while I turn on this stuff. In my point of view, the matchup is Chun needs to be in range to do normals and do normals, right? She needs to body Jury with normals. Um, yeah, exactly, exactly. It's not fair for the play. I don't mind this matchup. I just kind of like I don't know. I don't think I suck at it either. I just lose, right? Like I don't know. It's just I lose to the matchup a lot. Right. Anyway, so this matchup, you want to be kind of close to Chun. You don't want Jury to activate, or to get charges. Like to be honest, let's just be honest. And let's not sugarcoat it for anybody. Jury's gonna get her charges. Like there's nothing you can do. She'll take damage for it, but she'll get her charges. And so the one that's worrisome is the fireball one because there's not much Chun can do. You kind of like lose the neutral a little bit. You can poke over it, but it's very like weird, and you're kind of like if you do it, you're gonna block the fireball anyways. So Jury has ways to get in, but it's like very small, right? Like it's not enough to be like, oh yeah, like it's super. Like it's not like in the Kali's V trick or V skill 2, where like you have to block it and like or birdies can, right? Where like you have to block it and birdie gets to do what he wants. Like you can fight it, but you have to make sure that you're close. So instantly I try to get close to him. And I did I think I went for the hick confirm and missed it. See like that. So that right there is exactly what it is. Like he activates here, there's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do. There's literally like I could do stab middle kick. It's not gonna reach, but it's gonna go over her fireball, but that's it. This is kind of like why you kind of want to run a Sanchu in this matchup, but like I don't really like running a Sanchu. And even then, like unless you see her do it, like unless you react, like your reactions are super good, it's not gonna hit her. You know, like you have to preemptively do a Sanchu to hit her. So it's kind of like not worth it because it's -4 and you're gonna get punished. So blah 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 blah. Not you can't really do much. You can't jump this. You can't fireball this. You can't. So this is kind of like why I don't like the matchup, just because of this picture right here. But it's not enough to be like, oh, this is why Chun loses. This is just one reason why I think it's like evenish. But anyways, so I'll tell you this right now. I'll tell you guys this right now. The reason why I lose this I don't anti-air ever. Like I never anti-air. And so make sure you anti your jump is like this is a free jump. You can anti-air this. This is a bad jump. You should be able to anti-air this. There we go. I need to like, cough it out a little bit. So you like when you have distance, yeah, you want to throw fireballs, but you want to be careful. Jury does have V skill to go through it, so this is pretty much a footsie match until a while. And so this is like me not doing Pierce Punch at all, but I have to respect it. I did anti there, and I got frame trap. Right, and so this just to kind of tie this into the lesson. Okay, I blocked this. Okay, Jury has now. I'm still in block stun until this moment right here. No, actually, not yet. There. Now Jury can do what you want. Throw, meaty, whatever. So when you're in this position right here, you're kind of stuck. Like there is no like. This is why you have to enter. Because if you don't enter, you're in this position. Now you have to guess. You legit have to guess. Is it gonna be a throw, or is it gonna be a hit? Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and this is what Clay was doing. He was jumping at me. I just didn't enter. Like this is the reason why I lost. But going back to this position, I have to choose what I want to do, right? And each choice has a consequence. If I press buttons, I'm gonna get hit. If I throw, I'm gonna get hit. If I try to run away, I'm like, if she does a string, I'm gonna get hit, right? So I have to make the right choice. I ended up trying to go for like a delayed tech, and he does a middle punt, and he counter hits me. This is like brilliant play. Like this is just to beat delayed throw, because you do delayed throw to like kind of like beat both. But the problem is if your opponent knows that and knows the timing, you're gonna get screwed because they're gonna attack right when the delayed tech is supposed to happen, and that's a counter hit, and he gets a good combo after this. And so this is kind of like you're at your mercy. Like there's not much you can do. I could have spinning bird here, but it's just really hard to like go for it. But he's really aggressive, so I probably should have. But I was able to get out of the corner, so that's okay. We both have V trigger. So this is kind of like the moment where Jury wants to activate. They'll kind of do like EX, Tatsu or like whatever, like the flip, front flip. He activates here. Again, positive. Again, I couldn't do anything. I didn't want to tech either because again, when he jumped at me and made me delay tech and I got hit, they're kind of like, oh shit, I don't want to throw anymore, right? And so all these throws became free. So the lesson that I was teaching you guys is applying to the Jury. Here now I'm like, okay, I need to play some footsies. I need to actually attack. The reason why I do stand heavy kick a lot is because people walk. Jury wants to walk forward. So because of that, stand heavy kick is really good because you can get crush counters out of it, and it has a little bit more range, just a little bit more range than heavy punch. It's just that like if they're ducking, it won't work. This time anti-air, get the cross up, have a little bit left. I should have read that. But most of the time, these shifts are at the end when they don't want to get stunned or anything. I should have read it. But I get a trade, so I get a full combo here. Not a full one, but like I just did like a little bit of a hit. And pretty much like the way I want it. This is actually a cool one. This is basically like her normal uppercut is not that good. It doesn't have a really good hitbox going up. So my legs was able to catch it. Like I was able to stop in the air and catch it. Again, I did anti-air, but I got a counter hit setup. So, like, this jump right here did actually catch me off guard. I didn't think he would jump this close. But this is kind of like a good jump. Now I could still anti-air it, but like the angle was so like crazy that like I couldn't do it late. If I wanted to anti-air, I had to do it early. But this is more closer to him, and this is right here. I think this is where I like the match was thrown. Even though this is like my first hit, I'm losing. I'm gonna get into the corner. He has meter. Like he has ways that like now I'm kind of like having to fight my way out. And I just didn't want to fight EX uppercut. I don't know why. I was kind of being kind of bad because he wasn't baiting me, but this really is the reason why I got blown up. Like, because he's crouching. See that? See how he's walking and blocking, but blocking low? This is to avoid the heavy kick while getting closer. So when you're noticing this as Chun, you don't want to do heavy kick. You want to do heavy punch. Activate, but he saw me walking forward, so he jabbed. Again, I should probably spinning bird in all these. I should probably just spinning bird here, but I have some good defense. But I I I don't know. Okay, okay. I want you guys to tell me this. All right, G, you're here, right? I want you guys to tell me this. All right. Why did that whip? I need someone from Capcom to hit me up right now. Why in the? Well, I don't want to cuss, right? Because it's YouTube. Why did this whip? It's not lag. It wasn't lag. Like, it's there. Like, why? Like, the only thing I could think of, right? Because I played Chun. The only thing I could think of is that I was in V trigger and then run out. That's the only. Actually, I don't even know, dude. No. Okay, maybe it's because of this, right? Because of this. See how that double, the middle punch hit twice because of V trigger? Then it ran out. Like, I feel like if I would have done V skill, it would have worked. But, like, why am I going to do V skill? You know, like, I want to do a setup afterwards. You know, like, I could have done V skill to EX legs, but I feel like I wasn't going to get anything out of it. But, I don't know. I don't know why that didn't work. And then I was just kind of like, I don't want him to do, like, a super. But he was going to chip me. Like, there was nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do. Like, he was just going to make me block. I was going to chip, and I was going to lose. So, I don't know. That was kind of like one of those where like it was kind of really bad. I think it was because my V trigger like hit in the beginning and then ran out. That's the only thing I can think of. Usually it works. It usually juggles. But I would have to test that. I don't really remember. But yeah, that'll do it for me for now, guys. I probably will come back later today with some Earthbound. If you guys want lessons or if you guys want first to fives or advice, well, if you guys want lessons, you can find me at metafy.gg slash at Brolylegs. I will put it in the description below. But if you guys want, you know, advice or first to threes, fives, you know, in the streams, whenever I stream Street Fighter, you can sub to the channel. You want replay analysis, you can also sub to the channel as well. I do replay analysis for players. I could do it today. I could like come back. If I don't do Earthbound tonight, I'll still come back and I'll take replay analysis for people. Like if you guys want me to review your matches and tell you what you did wrong or right, you can always again sub to the channel, and I can do that for you. I really like doing replay analysis. This is what I usually do for students. I usually get on, they get on, and we usually talk about their matchups and talk about sets and what they did right, what they did wrong, and how they could correct certain things. And you know, even from me, when I'm this teacher, I still make mistakes, right? So it's good for myself to like look at my replays and say, well, you know, I could have done this better. I should have done this. I lost this match because I didn't enter. If I just enter, I probably would have won the match. So it's just important to reflect, and sometimes it's hard to do it on your own because you don't know what you did wrong, right? You might look at something and be like, shit, I don't know what I did wrong. I'm watching and he's just hitting me, you know? So it's always good to have another set of eyes just to help you out. Yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching. Appreciate it. I will try to be back on tonight around 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. It'll be kind of like a surprise, you know. It's outside my schedule, but I'll still like try to do it to start up some Earthbound. But all right, guys, I will see you all later. Peace.